Welcome, everybody. Happy Kwaai Day, Friday, July 5th, the day after US Independence Day, the day after the UK elections. Labour Party swept to victory. It's a bit of a slow meeting today, or a sparsely populated meeting today, because a lot of people are off on vacation. But we've got a packed agenda. We've got, but let me pass over to Debbie, and Debbie, you describe the agenda.
I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm looking at Cristian's screen. I'm like, what's that party going on over there? And I think that's Syracuse, where they're going to be, I think that's where he's going to be speaking from. So welcome, everybody. And today we have Ruth. I'm excited. I haven't seen her, but I'm excited to hear what Ruth has to say and her updates, her lightning talk. And then it will be Cristian. And then like Reza said, a lot of people are still out on vacay, so we'll have updates. But it should be a pretty cool meeting, I think. So back to you, Reza. I feel like we're doing a podcast.
We are doing a podcast.
No, we are. But I'm just...
So let's see. And look, Sam's joined. Sam said he wouldn't, and there he is. Okay, so what I want to do is introduce Ruth. Ruth is hey, how are you doing, Ruth? Where are you? There you are. Can I say something about you?
Please do. This will be interesting.
I was thinking of getting my bot to describe you instead. Ruth's a professor of English, an English professor of English. This is a rarity, where she'll teach Shakespeare to Californians, and it's not once more onto the beach. It's something else. She teaches literature and language, and she ushers young high school students through to that sort of transition period from high school through to four-year college. And so the local college here, College of the Canyons, is a good friend of Kwaai, and that's where Ruth teaches. And Ruth has been testing out AI and how to bring AI to the campus. So I'm going to hand over to you, Ruth. You sent me some slides. I'm going to switch over to those.
While you're finding that, I'm responding to the student raising the hand. I saw that Carsten raised his hand.
And did he mean to?
Is he one of those students in the back row? I don't know. Okay, can we get just the slide, the first slide, Lisa?
I'm sharing the slide now. But
I'm seeing everything down the side as well.
You want in slideshow mode. Let's do that.
Yes, thank you. Okay, just because it looks kind of tidy. So I think Reza said pretty much everything that's on this first slide, but thank you, Reza, for that. We demoed this in Pasadena a few months ago, and the feedback we got at the time was that it was just a proof of concept, and biology had struggled to get a lot of my data from my course out of the platform that we use. So a lot of this talk this morning will be about equity, because there's a lack of equity sometimes for the students, certainly for the faculty, with the material, the intellectual property we have. Can you go to the next slide? So this particular class is similar to the one that biology created before. But this is a summer class, so this is 5 weeks online. That makes it a little unusual. We call it English 250. It's British Literature 1. So the students it's kind of a sophomore class, but because this is community college, it could be anybody in the community. This particular sample are mainly, well, I don't know about mainly, but there are a lot of English majors in this class, which we see a lot in literature classes as opposed to composition classes. Not all of them are our own College of the Canyon students. Because it's summer, we get a lot of students who have already transferred, who are already at a four-year institution in California or anywhere else in the world, actually, but certainly nationally. There's one student that comes to mind who's currently at the University of Alabama and is back in California for the summer and needs to just get some extra credit. We have a Christian college near us, the Masters University. We get a lot of students in our literature classes because their English department is very small. That's the students. Reza, I just wanted to show this because I thought it was a cool picture, that picture of the class, because that, we all remember these chairs, and the left-handers in the room hated those chairs. This is part of the equity issue. This is part of us supplying material for students that actually works for them. And these chairs don't work for our son, first of all. Okay, this is the class. This is what the course catalogue says. It's a survey of literature written in the British Isles from Anglo-Saxon conquest, which is 450. We used to say AD, now we say before the Common Era, to the last quarter of the 18th century. So it's a lot of time, and I've just finished teaching it in 5 weeks. It's however many hundreds of years that is in 5 weeks is insane. The other thing here is that we're calling it British literature, not English literature. And I spend a lot of time, being who I am, explaining the difference between England and Britain and the United Kingdom and Great Britain and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of for nothing because they still want to call it English literature and all the textbooks say English literature. So I had squared that by saying it's literature of the English language, not of the English people. And that works for the most part. This satisfies a lot of articulation for literature in translation because it starts in Old English and it goes through Middle English. So that qualifies as literature in translation. Okay, next one, Reza. So biology built the assistant for me. We used the syllabus, the video lecture transcripts, because this is an online class, I record weekly lectures on Zoom, and then I sent biology the transcript. Because this is a summer class and my Norton anthology textbook is just switching to a new edition, I started using open educational resources. I didn't want them to buy a really expensive textbook. So there are things out there like Galileo and Harvard Chaucer that my campus librarian helped me access. So it was all zero cost. And then the assignment prompts as well. So this was the assignment we used for the assistant. I asked these questions. Discuss the user-friendliness of the assistant and how was it to work with? What questions did you ask the assistant and how useful were the answers? What is missing from the assistant experience and how would you want to use this assistant in a class? And if you were to build your own assistant, the 3 steps are: what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it know? So how would you build your bot? And what is your overall impression of an assistant? Okay.
Just to give you a view of it.
Yeah. So this, there's about 30 students in the class still. Some have dropped in that 5 weeks. These are the answers that they gave, some of them. I like the first one because this person clearly knows more about the technology than I do. There was some lag between the question entry and the assistant's response. I think that the interface could be redesigned to center the text rather than the AI image, because the text is the most important part. And it's interesting, I haven't put all the responses, but it's interesting that what comes up a lot is that they're scared of the face. The face is not working for people. And some of them have even said, you know, it takes a lot of power and it's distracting to use that face. Okay, Reza, enough with the face. Go back to this. Okay. The second one, I think that the thing is missing. This was a strange information, but it doesn't actually teach anything. It seems just like a glorified Google search. I would not want to use this in class because all the questions I have, I can just Google. AI can't replace teachers. And I did point out that that was not my intention. I don't want to replace myself. But it's interesting that that's somebody's gut reaction. It's just glorified Google. overall, I think it's very unique. I typically view AI as something negative, something to stay away from because of academic integrity, and that's a portion in my syllabus, so they picked up on that. However, this is a very unique way to use AI as a helpful source, and it's something I've never seen done by any professor before, so I'm on the cutting edge again. The user-friendliness of the AI assistant is great. It seems like you're talking to a person, but in all honesty, when the app opened up, it really took me back because it looked so real. It was really easy to work with. I just talked to the app like I would normally to a person, just to get a feel for the AI assistant. So that student is using it in a way that I don't. I don't use the voice. I don't speak to it. Typically, these things don't understand me. So
can I give it a try?
Do you remember the question I said I wanted to ask? I can't remember now.
Can I get extra credit?
Go on.
Can I get extra credit? Well, she's thinking about it.
No, it would be best to ask me directly, and no, you can't. But the some of the responses we all know about, and that they're kind of accurate. Some people said that the answers weren't accurate and they were too vague. So those are things that we can improve upon.
Okay. So let me go back there. Let me go back to here. Start. Ruth, thanks so much. I wonder if there are any questions for you. What we're going to do now is we're going to proceed with the rest of the schedule, and then at any time, Cristian's going to ping me saying, "Hey, we're ready to go live to the conference." So we're going to be a bit scrappy here. He should be up next, but he's also said it's going to be a bit variable. So Ruth, I think we can take one or two questions, but Debbie, back to you.
I didn't have a question. I have more of a comment, which is one of the comments or feedback from the students was how AI will never replace teachers, which really drives into the point of the fear of people. Will AI replace our jobs? And I think that's such a powerful quote, at least coming from Kwaai, where we're testing the beta, showing you that the student felt, hey, listen, regardless of what you give me, I still want to talk to the teacher. I still need this human connection. She understands me, right? Like the bot is here to do a lot of I think she's Ruth's assistant. I mean, we really need to empathize, but she's not Ruth. She'll never be Ruth. I mean, Ruth just gave us an entire explanation in 5 minutes of British literature, right? And like to comprehend. And I think that's so powerful, in my opinion.
It could be an after-hours attendant.
There's another one here which is very similar. Honestly, the only thing missing is the personal touch. The assistant is great for anything relating to the class info. However, I like a personal touch and talking to the professor directly, as they tend to explain better and care more. So that's cool. Back in Pasadena, remember somebody said here to answer the questions at 10 o'clock at night when the paper is due in 40, and somebody went to the mic and said, well, don't you think that those calls, those emails late at night are a sign of anxiety? Which they are. That we've all been there as students when the panic sets in. You think, I don't know what I'm doing here. So this is an anxiety reliever, but it's not going to replace. It doesn't care. That's very true.
Agreed.
Very good. Well, Debbie, why don't you get us back on schedule, and we'll see if we have some more time to discuss this. We've got lots of extra feedback, but
will do. All right. So we're waiting for Cristian. They're not still ready. So I guess the next person is, if Balaji's here, then please, Balaji, chime in with your update. Otherwise, Saian.
And they've made a lot of progress. So Saian or Balaji, if you're there, Saian, you sent me a video of the progress so far on the beta. So if you're up, take the stage. You can even play the video. If you want me to play it, I can.
Sure. Yeah, the first thing that I would like to show you guys is a document that we created with all the screens that we have made so far. And afterwards, Roy can share the project in real time instead of the video. That will be better.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add you as co-host so you can present.
Thank you. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So Hello, everyone. We have made some progress so far regarding the assistant and all the mechanisms that we require in order for us to create and share some assistants. For now, we only have front end and the OS, but we don't have like a real integration between them yet. So those are the next steps that we're going to be working during the next weeks. But for now, I'm going to show you all the screens that we have made so far. So the first one will be the login. Um, it is using passkey. So instead of using a regular username and password as most of the apps out there, this is more interesting and more secure. So we have the registration and we have the login using passkey for both cases. The first screen that you're going to be looking at when you log in is the My Assistants or your assistants catalog. Here, you're going to be able to see all your assistants, but only the ones that you have created, where you are the owner of them. This is an empty screen for sure, and this is how the assistant will look. It has two options, the edit and the delete, and it has a button to share. So whenever we click on it, we're going to be able to share it with some users. We're going to be providing a URL that is specifically designed for like authenticating yourself to be able to use this assistant. The second screen that we have is the shared assistants, which are basically all the assistants that you can use. So everything that has been shared to you, you're going to be able to look at it. When you create a new assistant, we are handling a wizard-like. Well, it is a wizard. These are the steps. The first one will be details, where you can name your assistant and create a description for it. This description, for now, it doesn't have anything to do with the persona of the assistant. It is only for users to know what to expect from this assistant and what kind of questions they can make to it. The second step will be selecting your LLM. Perhaps you can work with Mistral or Llama or any version of Llama, depending on what you like. But we're going to be habilitating users to choose any LLM from the ones that we support. The LLM will be downloaded directly into your local machine, or in this case, if we're going to be using it in the server, into the server. But this makes everything so you don't have any cloud providers out there. It is everything in your own architecture. The knowledge, here you can drag and drop files from your computer directly, but eventually we're going to be adding a Google Drive button so you can share documents directly from Google Drive and folders. And this is basically all the knowledge that your assistant will have. The next step will be selecting the assistant's face or avatar. We're going to be supporting a few faces. You can select the one you most like, and you can test it out here. You'll be showing in real time as the one that Reza shared in the past slides. And then we can select the voice. For the voice, once you hover on the voice, it will tell a very basic phrase, so you can test out how it would sound. You can just click on it and go to the next step. And here you can test it out. Here we're going to be showing a little progress bar somehow in the top of the screen, where you can see if your files are already uploaded or not, just so you can test with your own files instead of just testing with the knowledge on the LLM. But once that's done, you can start testing your documents here in your knowledge base and see how it responds to it. And just to make sure that you didn't share any incorrect files or anything like that. And the last step will be the status. It has two options. If you want to publish your assistant privately, or if you want to publish your assistant public, or if you don't want to publish your assistant, it's only a draft. If you click on the public one, the option to share it will be available. Otherwise, it won't be available, and users don't have any permission to access it. And allow editing. This option basically is so me as a user, if someone shares an assistant to me, that I can customize the face and the voice to it. If it is not allowed, I won't be able to use it. But if it is allowed, I will be able to customize the system the way I like. But I cannot change the knowledge base. The other screen that we have worked on is the assistant the interaction screen. This is the screen that anybody who is using the assistant will look. On the right side, we're going to be showing the assistant's avatar, and on the left side, the chat. And here we have some options. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, which is basically your history or your conversation history. You have three options, and let me go ahead and show you the options. I don't have a description, sorry. But in these options, you can delete the conversation, rename it, or archive it. And that's pretty much it. It is somehow likely to ChatGPT, but it's a little bit different. We also have an option to mute the assistants and another option to disable the avatar just in case you don't want to use them when you're using the assistant. And those are the screens that we have worked so far. I don't know if you have any questions before we start showing this project, but in real time.
Yeah, go ahead, and why don't you show us the video? I'm waiting here for Cristian to give us the signal, but why don't you play the video?
Sure. Well, Roy, can you share your screen with the project in real time?
Yeah, sure. I need some permissions.
Yeah,
Okay.
just giving you permission. There you go.
Okay, thank you. See window from top. Okay, can you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is the login page. Right now it is ready with passkey. So I have a user. This is my user. I go to login. And can you see this screen or not?
See, we don't see the passkeys screen, but that's
well,
okay.
It's a Touch ID. Let me cancel and share again with all the screen.
Okay.
Windows. This one. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Login. When I say passkey, I have this screen. This is the passkey. I use the Touch ID, my Mac.
Okay.
Okay. Is go to the home. In the home, I have this right now. The selection to log out here, but it's working good. And this is the home screen that I have right now. I don't have any assistant, but I'm going to create one. Acting assistant. I have my assistant's name, my description. I continue. I use ChatGPT. It is Lumi data, so it's repeated. I select a file for here. It is just added in array, but it's not uploaded. You can also drag and drop the files. You can continue. Here you can select the face to use. I like that. The voice to use. I don't have any voice right now. It's only data. Continue. It is like a chat that we are going to have to test the assistant. You send or receive the response. This is the option to make public, to allow editing or not, and you deploy. When you deploy, you have this one. Like Saian said, like this public, I have this button for share. When I have the link that I'm going to copy and send to the user to share. Also, I can delete. In this case, I have this button I can delete. I create a new one. The other part is my share assistant. Is assistant that someone share with me. Right now, it is the data also. Depend on the users. I have the ability to create new or not, but this is that I have right now. I can go to the course or the what. I have this one. I see the option that is not in the screenshots. I can change the name, share, archive, or delete. It's not working right now, but I have the same screen that the test. I only send the information. I'm waiting for response. Also, we are planning to have the button, the option to mute, to use voice or not, because like someone said, when we use voice, it takes longer to respond. And that's it.
Thank you so much. That was really good, and it was good to see not only the design but then the running demo. So thanks so much, Roy. Thanks so much, Saian. Look, this is the team that's doing a lot of the coding. The team's from ArkusNexus. It's one of our software development partners. They've donated us 6 engineers because they believe in the mission of Kwaai, and we're very appreciative of their continued support. This is we couldn't have done what we've done without you. So Roy, pass on our thanks. Saian, can you? I know Eunice is not on the call, but thanks to Eunice, and thanks to Angel, the owner of Arkus, for having faith in the project. And this is we're very pleased that we got this progress. So we are. We're in the midway of this, the middle of this schedule. So Cristian has messaged me. He says in 5 minutes okay, which is I think that means we've got time for a quick update on the next the schedule. Who's up next?
Could I ask a quick question to Roy and Saian about the?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. One is when are you going to make it available to the public? That's super cool what you guys done. And two, can you put in your email information in that too? Like if you download that and then enter that in, because since we want to do the email assistance too, I was wondering how you would integrate it there. Just two quick questions if you have time. Thanks.
Sure. Well, we're gonna be. This is public already. It is in the repo. If you want to download it, you can play with it. But it's on the front end for now, and we have the part of the OS. On the next weeks, we're going to be creating the APIs necessary for this to work, but we need to build them directly in the OS. So for now, you can download only the UI and the OS separated, but it won't integrate. So those are the next steps. But you can download it now if you download the repo.
Yeah, so actually in two parallel developments is the front end development and the operating system development. And so in the next week or so, we'll be converging those two. They've been in coordination in terms of the API spec, but I think in terms of releasing it to universities and colleges, we're probably looking at the end of July before we do that. So we said Q3. Yeah, we'll be a month into Q3. For those colleges that are champing at the bit to get their hands on the code, they've already Chris Mason's group at Cornell Medical School have already taken the proof of concept and have got that up and running and are having meaningful results from that. And there's another college that's going to be doing the same thing. Drea, your hands up?
She's muted.
There we are. Okay, can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were walking us through the front end architecture that you have so far. Do you have anybody doing the graphics for that? I realize this may be a little premature for that, but
no, it's not premature. In fact, we'd love your support in arting up some of those pages. You know, the sort of Figma design is sort of kind of wireframe, okay. And so we'd love some.
Okay. I would probably want to talk to you a bit about I'd probably want to talk to you a bit about your branding and whatnot to me, just to keep that consistent.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Okay. In fact, I'd suggest Saian and Balaji, you should reach out to Drea and get Drea engaged in the front end development. Okay. So we have time for, well, let me just give you an update of the beta program. So Kwaai, if you go to the Kwaai web page, the website, and you click on the beta tab, so then you'll end up at this page here, and it talks about the beta, and it says, okay, well, let's wait for that to populate. It gives you the requirements of the beta. Here are the things you're going to be able to achieve, 3 use cases you can play with, and here are the hosting requirements. And I just put this up on the web page. We haven't had any marketing of it. We haven't put out a press release yet, kind of waiting for the code to be developed. But this apply to join button has been live, and so far 14 universities and colleges have applied, and so that's great. And in fact, we've got one already up with the pre-beta, so that's good success. Our ambition is to get 20 to 30 colleges running the beta during Q3, and so that's the update of the beta. We might be able to switch to Cristian now if he's available. Let's see. There we go. And I'm just sending him a message. So at any time, but so to fill in the time, what I thought was maybe if any of the researchers are on the line, Brian, Ryan, or Shad, if you want to put your hand up and give us an update on what's been going on the research front. It's actually been a lot of development, and it's an exciting area. to report on. But I'm not sure if they are in fact on the call. Let's just have a look.
Oh,
Diego's here if you want Diego to give an update.
Sure. Okay. Diego, this is throwing you in at the deep end. Are you able to?
Sorry, that was
give
me
it-
throwing him in the deep end.
Yes,
Hi everyone. Actually throwing me under the bus. No worry.
that's great.
The update we have on the life sciences group, which I think now is called AI for Medicine group, is in the last meeting we were looking at some of the results. Let me put it on the screen. In the last meeting we were showing some of the results that we got for the drug side effect identification using a graph rack. The last thing we discussed is that we need to run on more data, on more drugs. And I think Chat offered some computing to do that. So we are working on that right now. And hopefully for the next meeting, we will have good results on that. But so far, the results are very good. Like on the 100 drugs we run this evaluation, the accuracy is about 90%. So that's very good.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we're ready to go live to Syracuse. To Syracuse in Sicily. Let's do that. Unpin. And here we go.
Hi, Reza.
Hey, Cristian. Good to hear from you. Yes. Buongiorno from Los Angeles, from California. But it's probably in the afternoon there already for you.
Okay, Reza, sorry, I will try to translate in Italian what we are going to say. Okay. So
Okay.
if you see my voice overlapped to yours, is not a problem. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Buongiorno, Siracusa. You can translate for me. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting us to the Feste Archimedi in Siracusa. We'd like to present to you the latest in artificial intelligence for personal AI. We are from an organization called Kwaai. So my AI assistant will thank you very much. We believe that if AI is going to be truly uplifting for humanity, we should start with humans first. So Kwaai is focused on creating an open source personal AI operating system. We think that everyone should own their own AI. So imagine a personal assistant that knows everything about you, that can make you a better you.
Quindi provate a immaginare un assistente personale che può aiutare in maniera molto mirata proprio voi.
Of course, you'd want to keep all of that information private to yourself and not sending it up to the cloud as a prompt.
Ovviamente tale è che diciamo da parte vostra devono essere vostre, private, e non devono girare di computer che stanno in giro per il mondo e non si sa dove i dati.
So Kwaai is committed to developing this open source platform, and we welcome volunteers to come and participate and join our movement.
Kwaai è una piattaforma aperta, quindi aperta a tutti coloro che vogliono entrare all'interno del movimento e vogliono dare un loro contributo. La piattaforma è aperta.
And if you'd like to find out how to join, you can contact Cristian Randieri, our director of the EMEA.
Nel caso nostro, io ho l'onore e il piacere di essere il presidente di QUEI, che è la regione EMEA, ovvero Europa e Middle East Africa, quindi una regione molto grande in cui ho la missione di far crescere questo movimento anche all'interno collegati col fondatore e con la componente degli Stati Uniti. dove appunto è nato.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for inviting us to participate in the conference. We're right in the middle of our weekly public meeting, and it's so thrilling to go live to a conference and show what we're working on. Thank you very much.
Ringrazio tutti quanti per aver dato l'occasione di parlare qui. Tornerò a Milano. Okay, I don't know thank you very much, and go ahead. We are here. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. We'll continue. Thank you. Bye.
Allora,
Okay. Thanks so much. I'm going to stop sharing there. I'm going to go back to the agenda. Why don't you get us back on online? Back on. Thanks so much.
So I think I saw Brian Ragazzi, or well, Shad's not here, but if you guys can give us some updates, or is that where we're at, or are we?
I think we can move on from there.
Okay,
And
cool.
let's go to community voices. Let's go to member voices.
So if you're new, kindly raise your hand, introduce yourself, give us like a 1-minute spiel, who you are, you know, how you got.
And could you unmute yourself, perhaps?
Yes.
The one thing we always forget. Dane Dunstan, happy to be with you all. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm the founder of a executive coaching company called Reservoir. Very, very interested in this work. Fascinated by what you're doing. Really deeply committed to some work right now of expending my knowledge on innovation in here and also in blockchain, just in particular. But I'm working on a book that's about the emerging future and how we can identify it and see what's going on. So I'm really just want to be deep in the middle of it. I have a client who's also deep in the middle of some of this, so it helps me just learn what's going on. I have zero scientific usefulness here in this conversation, but I have a lot of organizational information, so I'd like to be part of the group and learn from it.
Dane, I get inundated with folks that say, hey, I'm an executive coach, I'll make you a better executive. And it occurs to me that with the appropriate sort of AI assistant, with your own historical information, you
Yes.
can actually make yourself a better person. There's so much stuff that you've forgotten, or you've not collated, or you're not referencing back. And so I think there's some opportunity there. We should talk and see if we can maybe craft an assistant specifically for that, for making you a better you.
Let's do
that. So great. Thanks. Welcome to the community. Who's up next?
Ooh, help me out here.
Yeah, and you know Debbie's going to call on you if you don't.
I'm just going to call random people just because I want to hear from them.
And John Connors is being chased by a Terminator. No, John. There we go. John, you're unmuted now.
I'm sorry, my hand was up accidentally. I'm not a new member of this community. I've been hanging out for a little bit, so sorry about hitting that accidentally.
Great. Thanks so much, John. Let's see.
I saw Nicole. I'm sorry.
Nicole, we spoke to her last week, but we'd love to hear from her again. And
Okay, sorry, I wasn't here, but I saw a new girl and I was like, let's say hello.
It is so super nice to be here. I am technically not new anymore, but it's awesome. You weren't here, so I'm new to you. So hi. It's been super great to hang out and just kind of talk with everybody. I've already made some friends, so that's cool. You guys are a really awesome social circle, as well as a professional reservoir for knowledge. So I'm just really happy to be here. And it is nice to have everybody else here. Hi to all the new people. And I'm hyped for the after party too. So if you guys who are new are going to be here for the after party, definitely stick around. It was super fun last time. So as the almost not new person, that's my best piece of advice. After parties are where it's at.
Excellent. Very good. Rhea, I'd love to hear from you. I know you've been with us a few weeks, but tell us about yourself. Yeah.
There I am. Hi. So my background is I'm dominantly a graphic designer. I've also done some UI, UX, software quality assurance, a little bit of documentation, technical writing, and I'm going to be doing some of that here. And also, I've kind of just gotten into AI just as a personal interest, personal rabbit hole that I've kind of gotten sucked down. I'm gotten really into creating my own custom GPTs with ChatGPT, where you can kind of go into the back end and just make your own stuff with it. It's very cool. So I have like a number of personal projects I'm doing. So like one of my big creative projects is I'm also like a game designer and novelist. So I have created basically a number of world GPTs that I've just fed all of my world data, characters, descriptions, all of that into. And also I have GPTs that generate art in specific styles for me. And it actually gets the details down, like right down to the logos, company names, all kinds of signage, stuff like that. And anyway, so it's pretty cool. I have a lot of fun with it. It's funny that you're talking about a personal AI, because one of my projects is a me-bot, basically. But there is definitely the thing of, I don't want to feed my personal information to the cloud. And that is absolutely a problem that a lot of people are going to have. I've also played a bit with Claude, Llama. What else have I played with? There are a number of models on Kobold AI that I've played with. I do writing with it. I do basically the administrivia type stuff associated with that, like making lists, organizing data. I do a lot with Stable Diffusion. I've gotten really into AI art using Stable Diffusion, dall-e, a bit Mid-Journey, not so much. I don't enjoy that as much. You don't really have the control with it. Anyway, that's me. Looking forward to doing more with all of you.
Okay, that's great, Andrea, and I'd love to follow up with you specifically about upping our design. That's it. You know, I'm going to call on you. There are a few people. Look, I just want to do a shout out for Balaji. So, but Balaji, I know you might not be online or you might not be in a place to talk, but so people are not going to see you blush when I tell you how grateful I am for your contribution to Kwaai. It's been fantastic. I mean, the proof of concept is something that Balaji put together, and it's still the go-to thing that we're using at the moment. When we've got the beta running, then that'll be the go-to thing that I demo. This morning, I got on to the conference, onto this call at 9 o'clock, so I could test out with Cristian whether we're going to be able to demo. And then I started testing the Italian-speaking bot, which Balaji only got working a few days ago, and it wasn't working. And Balaji, unflappable, he's just got the zero drama. He just gets on with stuff. He said, yeah, something's going wrong here. I'm getting errors being thrown by CUDA. I'm getting memory errors. I'm getting Unicode errors. I don't know what's going on. He was rebooting it a few times. And okay, I said, don't worry, you've got time. We're going to go live at 10 o'clock. And then, you know, as we're trying it, it's like 3 minutes before 10. He says, okay, try it now. And yep, it sprung into life and it's working straight away. So thank you so much. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. We're now at a movement of over 500 members. I think last time I looked, it was like 530. We are doubling every quarter, so that means that we'll, you know, we as we grow, it becomes a bigger administrative task to harness everyone's energies to the same mission. You know, we've got super smart people on board. We need to make sure that we engage with them and they don't churn out because they get frustrated about how can they contribute and how they can become part of the conversation. We managed to get Trello up and running. So that is our project management go-to place, go-to thing for managing the backlog. And we've got that up and running. And we now have got a backlog, and I want to create backlogs for each of the different work groups. We've currently got a board up and running for the for the beta, and it's a bit nerdy to share the board now, but it's already in progress. And gosh, there'll be boards like this for every one of our work groups, and that allows people to start contributing, and then we'll be able to move projects forward a lot better than we were doing before. The nature of a volunteer organization, people come and they go, and so it's important to have these more formal. It's a level of formality and formalism that you'd expect from a sort of for-profit entity. From a volunteer entity, you actually need more of it, because people need to be able to come in and pick up work that somebody else started. This is like the football game of, some person comes in, they move the ball a few yards up the field, and somebody else picks up the ball and continues with it. It's actually not like football. It's more like rugby. Okay, so just saying, football is more like the individualist making a run for personal glory. So if anyone's watching the Euros, I've been watching it. It's a thrill to watch. Okay, you can see I'm drying up here. So come on, help me out, Debbie. Come on.
No, see, my dad's been watching it too. So between you and my dad, it's like
it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game.
It's a gorgeous game. It's a gorgeous.
Yeah. What I record them, and then I watch them after the fact, obviously, because it's happening in Europe time, and yeah. So this is a great way of just unwinding in the evening, catching up on footy. Okay, so can someone post the
I
link?
did the link for the meeting. It's pinned to the chat. So if you pull up, but you'll see it, and that's happening next.
I'm gonna call on Doc to talk us out and tell us his recent posts, and you've posted stuff in your blog post that everyone should read.
Which one? Oh my gosh, let me bring one up. Oh yeah, okay. Is this the past, present, and future of news, or is it the I read a lot. Oh, the personal internet. That's probably it.
This one, the present, the present, future, and past. Yeah, tell us about what.
Okay, well that's a project I'm working on. Actually, AI came up in it this morning. We're working here in Bloomington, Indiana, on prototyping a much better approach to local news that starts in the future with calendars that are aggregated and is informed in the present by whatever is going on, and it accumulates in the past in archives. And accessing those archives, normalizing those archives, and which are collections of both facts and stories, that can use AI. So that's part of this too. And the reporter is doing this. It just we have no time left, so maybe we could just take it to the next meeting. I don't know. Do you want to?
Yeah, great. Okay, we
take it to the next meeting because it's interesting stuff.
It's interesting stuff. I'd love to hear more about that.
Okay.
And okay, so there's an after party. We call it the idea exchange. We used to call it the hackathon.
A new name, the after party. I love it.
It's the after party. Okay, and we're going to do that, and then the temperature is rising here in Los Angeles. In our valley, it's going to be like 112 today. So the after party, and then there's the after pool party, and that's where I'm going to be. Okay. Keep well, everybody. If I don't speak to you again, what does that say, Ruth? 103 already. Okay, crazy.
And it's 11 a.m.
Okay. Keep well. See you in the after party. Okay.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming. Happy
Bye.
4th.
Happy 5th.
But still. Okay, yes.
Bye.
All right. Dogs are important. Go walk the dog. Oh my God.
Hey, Debbie, can I trouble you real quick to just throw that link back in there? I'm on mobile, and so it does some weird hyperlink stuff for me.
Oh, hold on one second. Go ahead. What?
Can you throw that link back in there for me? I know it's in there, but I can't.
Let me 1 second. Yeah, totally.
Thank you so much.
Now let me find. I had it. Okay, wait. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna put it right back in the chat. Can you see the chat, Nicole, or do you want me to message?
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. Just for the whatever reason, the previous one wasn't. Yep, I'm in. Thank
No
you.
problem. Anybody else? Christian's still going at the party over there. I'm gonna go. Christian, okay.
James, are you here? I'm gonna figure it out, but this one is
Colors of the Canyons. It's a very similar. It could be a very similar thing. So that can have a role in it as well. So that's one thing. The other thing, and if you want to scroll down, Reza, because you're presenting, is something I wrote about in the prior post. Yeah, an internet of nothing but accounts. It's important to remember that when the internet was designed, it was not designed as a collection of things that you log into. It was designed as an end-to-end system where anybody could publish anything, and everybody had more or less equal power. And what we have, thanks to client server, if you scroll down further, is basically it's a design that we came up with early on. We take this for granted, but the good thing about client server for the server side is, hey, I've got lots of clients, and on the user side, on the individual side is, oh my God, I have to log into a zillion accounts. It didn't have to be that way. It really didn't. And I wrote a book called The Clue Train Manifesto. I wrote it with 3 other guys. It was a business bestseller. The word Clue Train is still tweeted. It used to be some number of times a day. Now it's some number of times a month ever since Elon took over, and there's much less traffic there. But that said, the founding principle there, the one that got quoted the most is Markets are Conversations, which is one of my one-liners. And when you hear somebody say, join the conversation, it pretty much started there in 1999. But the original clue, the alpha clue, was this one: we are not seats or eyeballs or end users or consumers. We are human beings, and our reach exceeds your grasp. Deal with it. And it was a very radical statement that adrenalized a lot of people in its time, which is in 1999 and 2000. And the book still sells. It sells in 9 languages. The problem was, it's not true. It's still not true. We are still seats and eyeballs and end users and consumers, and our reach does not exceed their grasp. So how do we make our reach exceed their grasp? And of course, that's what I've been working on for the last 20, 30 years, and I'm still working on it. And now I'm working on it here, among other places, allied places. So that's basically it. But both of those are part of a series. I have, if you look at the top of any blog page there's a series called The News Commons and another one called Personal AI. So, and that also includes the ones that I've published at Project VRM or on Medium. I don't use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is much too busy looking for me, and I know I have to be on LinkedIn. I just don't like it. It's me.
It's a very local storm, though.
Yeah, very local storm. That was fun. We had a derecho here. That's where you have like a horizontal. It's an instant hurricane that lasts about 3 minutes and knocks all the trees down. And so we had that here. We kept our trees, but a lot of other ones went down. So I kind of covered that live. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, so I'm going to be going away for 2 weeks. I'll try to get in as many calls as I can, but we're on a road trip. So in a car and having a vacation. But in early August, I'm going to D-Webcamp. That's distributed webcamp. It's up in the redwoods of Northern California. And I'm going to be talking about personal AI there. And I'm going to be talking about the news commons there and the past, future president, past of news. So all those are going to be happening at D-Webcamp. And if you look up D-Webcamp, it just says that. You'll see what it is. The Internet Archive people put it on. I'm told that some people from the various big AI outfits are going to be there, so we'll see what happens with those. It's a very kind of hippie-ish, in the woods, fun kind of campy thing. There it is, and it's not too late to buy tickets, and they're excellent people, and there are some you can go glamping. I think there's some tents that are available where they already.
I was thinking this doesn't look like Ruth's idea of.
Yeah. So the fun thing for me about it is that these people that are coming from, Kenya or, Eastern Europe or something, they've never seen a redwood tree, right? And there are these, just suddenly you're like in what with the Ewoks and Star Wars, they're all everybody's looking up like that. So, but it's a fun thing. Some of the photos in that, by the way, are ones I took as well. I take photos everywhere I go.
I can vouch that it's a good time.
Oh, that was the Star Wars. I think the third, episode 6, I think it would be, where the Ewoks show up.
That's like Spare's dog. Yeah,
it's the one where Darth Vader dies and he takes it and he has a, you know, they have the curtain call at the end of it, and you know, Darth with his helmet off is standing there, and you're thinking, wait a minute, this guy exploded a planet. Why is he getting a curtain call? But anyway, yeah, but it's a fun thing.
And so you also posted about does personal AI really require big compute?
Yeah, and that's sort of an open question, isn't it? Getting AI systems to illustrate stuff is it's an interesting thing because we've gone the progress is the process by which the miraculous becomes mundane and then it becomes annoying. It's all typicalities, you know, and yeah, that's probably not worth looking at that one. They wanted to change.
It's just the illustration of AI graphically generating hands with 6 fingers.
I know.
Just not figuring out.
Yeah. And that post is about my father helped build the George Washington Bridge. He was a construction worker working on stringing those cables, and he archived. He kept photographs that he took. That he's in that one. He didn't take it, but it was with his camera. And I have some of the only photos on Earth of that bridge being built. You know, by the guys that built it. You know, some of them are, you know, are okay photos, some of them are not. But anyway, well, that's an AI fail. I went through.
This illustrates how you know we're using AI optimistically, thinking that he you know, is going to get me to the answer. It's going to help me write an essay. It's going to help me, and it's actually quite good at the essay writing. But on artwork, the on-demand artwork, it is really abysmal.
It was really bad. It really doesn't know what to do with it. But even so an interesting thing to me is that Dave Askins, the guy I mentioned earlier, he decided to job out his appearance on the local radio station, giving a report on local news to an AI voice from ChatGPT, and it's a female voice, and it does a really, really good job. But it's like, it includes, because she's speaking American English, she doesn't know how to put a T at the end of the word president. It's just president, and then a T doesn't appear. The English people trying to speak American English have trouble because you have to mumble and drop parts of words. And for anybody with slightly diminished hearing, which I have, listening to English-speaking people like Reza and Ruth, they pronounce their sibilants well. But anyway, my point with it, though, is that this voice is like an amalgam of all these most typical, not the best speech, and you know, it's not broadcast speech, it's American vernacular speech, and it includes vocal fry. You know, vocal fry is when you say, okay, and you kind of at the end of your words, and this thing does that. And that's kind of what big time AI does. It's like, it's all the most typical things all at once. And trying to get something original out of that is often quite weird. Anyway, yeah.
Here you'd given it a simple prompt. You wanted to create big letters AI with lots of people staring up.
Yeah. I was going to illustrate the people's AI, right? And that one was from Microsoft Copilot. And I went to Copilot, which uses ChatGPT as a backend. It uses dall-e as a backend. And that got it with the one on the lower right in one shot. But ChatGPT are all the prior ones, and it never got it out.
The time that it took you to...
Not as long as it appears. It took me longer to write about it than it took me to produce it. Of course, I had to drag those images into the thing. So doing the blog post probably took me an hour. Going through the